Welcome to Crown Level Confidence with Kalia Janae, the podcast where we empower and inspire you to achieve unstoppable confidence and self-belief. I'm your host, Kalia Janae, a wife, mom, entrepreneur, as well as a certified life coach and motivational speaker with a background in humanities and communication. I'm excited to navigate this transformative journey with you. In each episode, I'll bring you candid conversations, practical tips, and inspiring stories from remarkable women who have conquered many challenges and risen to new heights. Get ready to have your crown straightened as we listen, learn, and laugh together so we can level up. Let's dive in. Welcome back to this latest episode of Crown Level Confidence. I am your host, your favorite mindset coach, Kalia Janae, and we are here today. You know why? We're leading women worldwide to lower their stress, yes, and raise their level of confidence. And I am here, y'all. Oh my gosh. I'm here with my next new favorite guest. I have Damarius Coleman-Everett. Say hey.
Hello.
Y'all, we have connected on like every platform possible, and I'm so excited to share her with you, my new connection. We're still getting to know each other, still building bonds, but I'm so excited that she just took the leap of faith to be on the show and have this episode. So I can't wait to have this conversation. Let me tell you a little bit about her, and then she can tell you about herself, okay? So, Damarius Coleman-Everett CEO, career strategist. Damarius is a certified mentor with a sharp acumen for strategy. She's deeply invested in empowering professional women to realize and leverage their worth. Boasting dual master's, degrees in a rich decade in leadership roles, she has a unique talent for identifying roadblocks and propelling career narratives forward. And y'all, I'm on her email list, and it's true, it's fire. Like, if you're ready to pivot in your career, a little PSA, if you're ready or you think you want to change some things up, you want to level up, you need to contact her. But we'll get to that later and how you can reach her. But right now, the conversation. Damarius, I'm so happy you're here, okay?
Yes, thank you.
Yes, of course. So, okay, we're here to have this conversation. We're talking about confidence, we're talking about career, we're talking about all things you and what you want to share with the ladies here in the conversation. So tell us, share with us, provide some insight, because, you know, women in the workplace, for some of us, it seems like, oh yeah, women in the workplace. But for those of us who actually pay attention, especially to history, we know that we're still like infants in the grand scheme of, you know, how workplace culture and expectations and things are. We're still not maybe infants, maybe toddlers, right? So what differentiates your career strategy approach from other services in the market? Because there are people who are like targeting women. But you've got some keen differences. And I want you, in your own way, how you do it, to kind of elaborate and kind of shed some light on how you work, how you help the women.
Okay. Thank you for so much in that. Okay. So, well, first, a little bit about, so I work a corporate job. So I work a 9 to 5. I always say during the day. So during the day, I wear that hat. And then whenever else after that, I also am a business owner and a mom and a wife and a Bible teacher. So all these different things. And so during the day, like corporate spaces, I've always found it just different for women, right? Mm-hmm. In the corporate space, I've had leadership roles. I'm in one now. And what I find is that I just want to speak about me. I was not properly, let's just say I wasn't ready for it. Like I wasn't ready for what I encountered when I came over into corporate America, what we call corporate America in corporate spaces. Mentally, I was not ready for what it would feel like. I wasn't ready. And this is being a woman already. I still was not ready for how to take up space. I wasn't ready on how to lead with presence. I wasn't ready for any of it. And so navigating that for this many years, I really want to help other people to realize that you can do it. Like you can absolutely show up and you can do it without in your own way. Like, I'm not a loud person. I'm actually very, very introverted. And so I think that makes me a great leader. And so I come across like a lot of women who are introverted. So they think, okay, I can't, I'm not going to be successful in doing and leading. And I'm like, absolutely not. You have, that's superpower. To me, I feel like that's a superpower. But there's a lot of nuances that go along with that space. And if you have to be like mentally ready for some of it to actually be successful in it, so that you don't get there and then feel less than or feel devalued and not speak up and not take space and not get those promotions that you're so deserving of. And so I'll just stop there because I don't want to ramble, because I did forget the question. But
you're not rambling. You have an abundance of things to say. That's totally fine. Listen, no, but what you're doing and this service that you're offering is so vital. I've shared on the show and in my blog several times of my experience, over the years before becoming, self-employed, the different things that were catalysts, I guess you could say. I'm going to make my own company. Because it's true. You get all of the philosophical leadership training. You get all of the, the ideals of what it takes. And there is not a lot of focus on women of color, how we are to navigate in those spaces. And not necessarily, I think a lot of people assume it involves code switching or whitewashing, and that's not necessarily the case. It's just a strategy, right? And that's exactly what you're teaching, right? You're teaching the intentionality behind the approach of how to be successful in these spaces, because we have not caught up. Right. We're allowed in, but they're like, okay, well, you're here, then that's good enough. No. I'm going to thrive. And Damarius is going to help me figure out how. So
it's so good. So when you were talking, it made me think about like what people think usually in the spaces, or what I hear most. When I say I talk to women every day, there's not a day that I don't talk to women, even on weekends. There's messages, there's text messages, and so I'm answering. So one of the things, then you said strategy is that I hear a lot is, well, I see people doing resumes, right? The industry is saturated and it's great. We need that. We see great resume writers. We see people who are optimizing LinkedIn profiles. Awesome. Nowadays, a lot of hiring, like recruiters are 90% on LinkedIn right now. Awesome. So it's needed. But what I don't see is people still, like, you can have a great resume, you can have a great LinkedIn profile. And when I ask the question, like, so, what is your secret sauce? Like, what do you do? What is it that makes you different? People cannot answer. They'll say, oh, I have a degree in such and such. I'm like, oh, that's wonderful. But that doesn't tell me, doesn't tell me what is it that's different about you. And so people are getting looked over when they're trying to get jobs. This is the toughest job market I have seen ever in my life. And I'm not old, but I'm not young either. So it's the toughest job market I have seen. So we can't not know. We can't not identify what our strengths and our skills and our values are for ourselves, and then expect an employer to know what they are. Because if you don't know what they are, they're not going to translate on your LinkedIn profile. It's just going to be some general jargon, a lot of big words, but they're not going to really hit and land well. So I'm glad that you said that, because it made me think about, that's the difference. The difference is you have to really know what it is you're bringing to the table. Like, I know that when I like on my team, I'm in IT management and consulting. So I'm not a software developer. I'm not a UX designer. I don't design graphics, but I lead teams of all those type of people. So if I come in with the complex of, oh my gosh, you're better than me because you know how to write code, how am I going to lead that team? So I have to know that, oh, okay, that's great. I have to know that, oh, I don't need to know how to do those things. I just need to direct traffic. Like, that's what I tell myself. Oh, I just need to know how to direct traffic. I need to know generally what you should do, what the tools that you need, and and I'm going to get you everything that you need, and I'm going to be an empathetic leader. I just need to direct traffic. So that's what I find, that a lot of women, they just don't know what they bring to the table. And if you don't know, you're going to end up with positions or in roles that you're unhappy in. Or a lot of women, we love growth. Like, we love to make an impact. And when you're on a team, or you don't feel like you're growing, or you can't grow, or you're not making an impact, or you're not at the capacity that the space that you can take up. Like, if you're a 5-gallon tank and you're only holding a gallon, you're not happy. Like that's when you dread coming to work. Like I was like, when I was in that position, I was like dreading going to work because I wasn't challenged. So I'm glad you brought that up because that sparked that thought of what I see a lot.
Yeah, absolutely. And one of my favorite things to do on the show is to let our guests talk and then pull out some themes. And what I'm hearing you say, and I think what the listeners will be hearing as well, is it's one recurring thing, right? That I want to emphasize as the mindset coach in the call is knowledge. Y'all, knowledge. You need to know yourself, right? Like Damarius she's giving you the whole game here. So I hope y'all are taking notes. And if not, you need to get home, get a pen and paper, and then replay this episode. But the point is knowing yourself, right? Having the right expectations of this career or the job or the role, that you're seeking is so important. I've even interviewed people. I used to be an executive level human resource manager. So I've hired, all kinds of different positions. And, people will apply for jobs and then just expect you to hire them and give them money. And they don't even know what they applied for. And you're like, well, wait, not just that, but, being prepared. Like I said, to begin with, knowing yourself, knowing, what to expect in that role. And then you can fill in the gap, right? Like Damarius is giving you the whole, I love how she said, what's your secret sauce? Because that's the advantage that you can create in an interview, right? Like if I'm interviewing someone and they said, hey, I noticed that this is the position, that I'm applying for. Here's what I bring to the table. Here's how I can make that job better. Oh, you're going to enhance the role. These are the things that, you want to bring to the team. You've already looked at the company website. You see some gaps. You've been seeing the social media and you see some gaps. Okay. That tells me, that person is interested. They take initiative. There are so many other themes that a potential employer or interviewer can pull about your character, about your, your dedication, your, I don't know, demure.
Yeah, your initiative. Like, are you gonna just sit back? Can you take a few things? Like, can you take these pieces and make a pie, make a cake, or do I have to tell you every single thing? Like, that matters.
It does.
I know when I'm hiring people, I'm listening for that because I'm like, unless you're in a training role, like where, you're intern or entry level, which you expect that. But, I'm talking about people who've been working for years and that's not the level of expectation. I'm looking to see and hear, can you take the vision and do something with it based on what you have in you? I'm not you can make it something better, but the way you would do it. I want people who can do it their way and still get to the goal of what our business objectives or, what we're trying to do in our department. So you have to have that mindset when you're coming into a role and position. But what I see is that people are afraid to think on that level because I know they can, but they may stay on that. You said something, you said knowledge. And I was like, yes, knowledge. Like sometimes, and I can say that I can say I was probably socialized to be more of a task-based person because of my upbringing. I'll just say, so my upbringing, we had girls, had boys in the house, girls we were very task-driven, very focused. It was very clear about what you're supposed to do and how you're supposed to do it. And this is just my upbringing, but, and the boys were not so much, right? It was more, it was more abstract or wasn't as concrete. And because of that, I was very task driven, which it didn't hurt. It didn't hurt me. It helped me until I wanted to move up to higher roles, because you need to be able to, think about, you hire people to execute when you move up higher, right? You don't necessarily do the execution. You're hiring people to execute, and you need to be able to lay out vision. You need to be able to build teams, and you need to be able to think big picture, and not so task driven. And so I'm finding that a lot of women, we've been socialized to be very task driven because we have to handle a lot of tasks, right? We have to handle everything, keep things going. Like, we're naturally project managers, but we don't apply for those roles. We apply for coordinator roles. But I sometimes will see someone who's a coordinator, and after I talk to her, I'm like, you are so not a coordinator. Yeah, that's a part. You can coordinate, but that's not. You can do so much more than that. And so that's what we're so task driven. And so even the people I mentor, I try to get them to say, Great. That's so wonderful. That's so great. Now you're in the weeds. I love that you're in the weeds. We're going to need that part. But for right now, tell me the big picture. Tell me strategy. Like, tell me, how is this going to impact the company in 5 years if we do this now? Because that's what people who make decisions want to know. So,
yeah, absolutely. And okay, so I don't have the specific statistic, but I do remember reading, and hopefully you can validate this. I do remember reading there is a vast gap in the way that women and men approach applying for jobs. The majority of women will not apply for a job unless they feel they are like somewhere astronomical, like 90 or so percent qualified for that job. Whereas men, they feel they only need to reach about 40% of the desired qualifications. They're still going to apply for it. So we're already behind this gap, limiting ourselves of our potential, and then wondering why we have these supervisors that don't know nothing.
That's so true. And that's absolutely
And it's
right.
because we're limiting ourselves to secretary, administrative support, like you said, coordinator, all of those different things. Like we think, I just kind of naturally flow into that. Ma'am, there is so much more for you. Just go ahead and shoot. I would rather apply for a job and then maybe redirect me than, kind of underestimate myself, because you would think in a utopian society, an HR manager would say, "Oh, ma'am, you applied for this. How about this other opening is better for you?" No, they're going to say, this person has all these other qualities. That's great. We're going to pay them less, and they're probably going to do more, and we'll come out ahead. Unfortunately, yeah. I'm saying it in a joking way. It's very sad, but it's very realistic. And so we need to, again, have the right knowledge and expectation to say, you know what, actually, there's this other opening, this project manager level 3, that's what I'm going to go for, and it comes from that confidence, right, of which you, again, can bring to the table.
Absolutely right. And you're right. We do approach the there. I don't know the exact statistic, but you're very close on it. I think it was 88 or 90% women have to meet, will have to meet literally every single thing. It's even some companies now that put like this little, have you seen like the job descriptions that have this little blurb at the bottom that says, if you are a minority, please do not feel like you have to meet every single thing. Like they literally put it in there because it's so prevalent. But what I want people to, it's okay. Like it's okay to not know it. That's the thing. Like it's okay to not know. So my last promotion, I was promoted to a role. First of all, I didn't know I was going to be promoted that soon. So I wasn't just as prepared as I thought I was. And I am still learning the role. Like I am so not 100% in that role. Like I am at 50, 60% right now. And I'm okay with that because I'm learning the role. There's the things that I have to learn, I could not learn without being in the role. There's nothing that I could have learned prior to. And I think it's dealing with this perfectionism that we have. I know me, yeah. I dealt with perfectionism, in a major way. And what it did was, it cut me out of opportunities,
debilitating.
I didn't even apply. I didn't even go for it. So, I mean, how did I know? How did I know that I wouldn't cut out for it? Or how did I know what I could do in that role if I didn't even try? I didn't even go for it because I wanted it to be perfect, and I wanted to know everything before I went into that. And first of all, if I knew everything, then how am I going to even learn? How am I going to grow if I know everything? So I want women to apply now within reason. I do within reason. I have to always have that caveat because you always get people, you've inspired me. I want to go for a director's position. I'm like, cool. And I'm like, I start having a conversation. I'm like, no, you're not there yet.
Right.
You're not there yet. So let's always, like you said, know thyself. Know where you shouldn't always just know what you're good at. You also should know where you need to develop, right? So I also have to know where I need to develop so that I can get to that place and work on those skills. I don't want to, just get somewhere and just never work on myself and stay at the same place. But yeah, you also want to know where you can skill up, and that's not always necessarily going out and getting a degree. So many people just like, you know what? I think I'm just gonna go get a degree. I'm like, oh wow, okay, that's great. Why? I don't know. I just think if I get a degree, and I'm like, oh no.
Oh no.
We're not getting in debt. We're not getting in debt over a whim. No,
right.
We're not gonna do that. Over a whim? It's too much. It's too much debt out here.
Yeah.
It's just not worth it when you've been working a while. I've met so many project managers who don't have a PMP, right? They don't hold a PMP. And I always like to ask them, why did you choose, not to get the PMP when the PMP is like the standards, with quotes, I'm doing air quotes, y'all, in that world. And they're like, because when I, you take a few classes, you take the boot camp. I've done the boot camp. When I took the classes, like they was like, it's so not realistic. Like it's not actually how you manage a project. And I've been doing it for so long. I feel like if I, they say if I got into that environment, then it would mess me up for what I'm doing. And that really like blew my mind. Like, what? Like, wow, okay. And they're great project managers and they're okay with that. And I'm not saying no going out and get your PMP because people pay big money for that. What I'm saying is you don't always have to go and get another piece of paper.
Right.
A lot of times it's important to tap into what you have and what you know and what comes to you naturally and take that and make something out of it. Because I think every role that we have, I think we have a purpose in that role. And I think it's important that we understand that you do not have to have a title to be a great leader.
Yes.
Like, when I was making sandwiches in Burger King, when I ran the front counter in Burger King, y'all, you would have thought I owned the place. I was the best front counter I think they had ever seen. I commanded that front counter. The condiments area was nice and clean. Like, people knew me. I commanded that space. And I was a leader, and it didn't have anything to do with my title, but it was how I showed up.
Yes, that matters. That matters. Wow, the time always goes by so fast. Really quickly, Damarius, I want everyone to know from you, because I'm gonna type about it, and we're gonna do your highlight in your episode description. But gosh, we really need like a part 2 to this episode. But for now, tell us about the movement group. Right. We haven't even specifically gone there yet. There's so much uncharted territory in this conversation that we're running out of time for. But really shed some light on the movement group, what you're doing, how you're helping people, and how people can tap in to receive those services.
Okay, awesome. So the movement group, so it's actually a partnership of women. So I'm the face of the movement group, but then I have 2 partners, both ladies, both in the federal government, and they just help with operations and financial. But anyway, so we started up to really help women to level up in their careers. Yeah, that sounds very broad. It is, because it's so many different things that a person could have. So we customize what we do based on the needs of the woman. So our target audience is corporate women. Right, so corporate women who are stuck, which means they're not happy in what they're doing, or corporate women who really want to pivot to another industry and don't know how. So we help them do that. We help them to see we help them to come up with what their skills and their strengths are. We help them to see learn what their values are, and then we take that and we match that to industries that align to their money goals or their lifestyle goals. Everybody has a different lifestyle goal and different money goals. And Absolutely. Then we layer that to specifically narrow down, these are the type of roles that you should be going for right now. And we give them that level of granularity so that they can streamline their job search, because it's a tough market, and people are wasting time just applying to anything. So that's basically what we do. And how we do that with, of course, your resumes. We have typical resumes, right? Revamping your resume. We have a resume package that includes not only the resume, but includes targeted, customized job leads. They're usually stretch jobs that you never thought that you could do. And we're like, no, you absolutely should be applying for these roles. And we have what we call a white glove job leads, which is like 20 customized job leads. We go out and find them for you. So we do that. We call it white glove because, It's a lot of time that goes into that. And then I do a lot of workshops. So I do a lot of workshops. I try to keep them small, no more than 15 women, where when we do the actual pulling out and showing you about, what industry works with your skills. What are your skills? What are your values? And then I take those and I have one-on-ones with people. That's just typical your career strategy call. If you just want, some people like that one-on-one. And so one-on-one, you can get a whole lot. And we do that in 90 minutes. And you walk out and you're ready to do what you were born to do.
That's amazing. I'm ready. Yeah, where were you? No, but this is awesome. There's so many people, women of us, that can benefit from these services that you are so thoughtfully curating, because we don't have time to waste. Okay, there's money to make, there's bills to be paid, there's children to raise, there's all of these different things. And so, listen, I'm all for calculating the cost of convenience. Okay, mm-hmm. And there's someone like yourself and your partners to come together and say, let's put our expertise together to help other women. That's huge. It's huge, and breaking down the perception that women don't support other women. Hello, here we are. Yes, we do. And I'm grateful that you are offering these services, because so many people need to know and need to be aware. So y'all, like I said, you will definitely have the opportunity to click on all Damarius' links. Follow her on all the social media. Like I said, I'm with her on every platform I know about, and I love her content. I'm on her email list, all the things. Soak it up, reach out to her, and make sure that you connect. But before we do all that, y'all know we always have the final word here on the show. So, Damarius, we've covered a lot: mindset, knowledge, confidence, your approach, your strategy, all of these different things to help women level up their careers, right? What is the main message, right? The ladies, they're getting ready to get out the car. Their lunch break is almost over. They got to get the baby. We're wrapping the episode up. What's the final thing you want them to remember from you?
I would say you have purpose. Even if you're not happy in the role that you're in, you have purpose. You are valuable. You are special. You have God-given abilities. Just who you are born to be is a gift to the world. And so it's just, let's use it. Go use it. That's what I would say.
Perfect. Go use it. Get in action, girl. Okay? Get in action. Awesome. Y'all, I don't know about y'all, but it has been a complete pleasure to have Damarius on the show. She brought a whole new fresh perspective and really just gave us a lot to think about. And also, she told you to go do it too. So don't just think only, right? Like, faith without work is dead. So contact her, reach out to her. Obviously, y'all, in the Crown Level Confidence Between the Episodes Facebook group, send her a shout out. Let her know that you heard the episode, you want to connect, or just thank her for her selflessness and building up women in the workplace. I have a contact number for you to reach her at. I've got her website. I've got all her socials there in the description of the episode. So just click, and call. But we're not about foolishness here at CLC. So we are professional women, okay? We are not time wasters, okay? We are kingdom builders, and we support one another. So Damarius, thank you so much. And y'all, stay tuned at the end of this episode for some announcements. I love y'all, but more importantly, I'm so grateful that you love me. Y'all be blessed. Hey, Crown Level Confidence listeners, mark your calendars for Saturday, July 20th, 2024, and join us at the next Networking on Purpose event hosted by NOP at Women's Resources, Inc. NOP is dedicated to empowering women entrepreneurs through expert-led workshops, training, and motivational sessions. For more details, visit www.womensresourcesinc.org. Can't wait to see you there. Thank you for tuning into another empowering episode of Crown Level Confidence with Kalia Janae. I hope you enjoyed today's conversation and found it both insightful and inspiring. If you'd like to be a featured guest on the show and share your journey of confidence and self-belief, please reach out to me at podcast@kaliajanae.com. I'm always eager to connect with remarkable individuals who have a story to tell. And for those interested in connecting with me for speaking engagements or mindset coaching, you can find more information on my website, kaliajanae.com. I'd love to hear from you and explore how we can work together to inspire and empower others. Don't forget to subscribe to the podcast on your favorite platform so you never miss an episode filled with actionable tips and heartfelt stories. If you enjoyed today's episode, I'd truly appreciate it if you could leave a review on your preferred podcast platform. Your feedback helps us reach more listeners and inspire even more people to straighten their crowns. Remember, your journey to unstoppable confidence is a continuous adventure. I'm happy to support you every step of the way. Keep believing in yourself, keep shining, and always wear your crown with pride. Until next time, this is Kalia Janae, your host, signing off. Stay confident, stay empowered, and keep leveling up.